Exploring the city might give us more information about things we might want to know in the future.
Looks to you and looks to Tristan. Actually, sister.
What?
How would you like a change of scenery?
In what way do you mean?
I will probably stay here. Rilinid, if you would go speak to whatever his name was, who can tell you more of their history. See if you can find some...
I'm not actually that interested in the history. I was actually hoping he would talk some more about it himself, but there was an angle that did not play.
Sort of nods. I see. Well, I would like for Tristan to be escorted by Rain and Zyn out to explore the city, being the young, happy drowess she is, and a lady, for that matter. So looks to Tristan. Perhaps no one would object to you being brought around with these two strong defenders, protectors, with you. If the two were to go alone, inspecting the defenses, that might raise suspicion. But if you wish to try whatever candy and whatever sugaries they might have here, I suspect quite a lot, then this will be a perfect opportunity.
Tristan just sighs, says, fine.
If you do not wish to, you can stay here.
No,
we'll go to bed early, most likely, and discuss tactics and logistics on the map.
No, I will go.
She nods. All right. She looks to the two others. See what you can glean, but be discreet.
Understood.
The Blue Bat is the town's only real inn and public house, you think? As you enter the place, you are greeted by a motherly-looking deep gnome who looks over you, with a keen eye and quite critically as you enter the establishment. And she moves up to greet you. Well. If it isn't the high and mighty drow come to visit. Well, lords and ladies, and she makes a curtsy with a good hint of irony. I was told that I would be receiving personal guests of his Lord Gurney, and I am suspecting that you are these guests. Am I correct?
Well, Larry nods. Says, yes, his lordship was as gracious as to suggest your establishment.
She smiles. Of course he did. My name is Miatha, always a song follows. I am the town proprietress of this tavern, and also, she sort of waves her hand, something of a town healer. If you have any stomach pains or anything from the, I'm sure, exotic gnome cuisine, you can come to me and we can sort that out. She smiles.
Perhaps we will need your services tomorrow. For now, I believe we still have already eaten today.
I see. Well, she sort of looks at the blue medallions you have. And she nods. Well, you have the run of the place. I will prepare rooms for you. Do you wish to, how do you wish to arrange the rooms?
Let me look at the others. I believe we should have arranged them so we stay together, mostly. She looks to Rilinid. Rooms next to each other, if possible. Do you have enough for one for each of us?
Yes.
She looks to Rilinid. She gestures to Shell, and then to Rilinid. Do you sleep in the same room, brother?
We will only need 5 rooms.
As it is, then.
The Miatha bows. Very well, then, lords and ladies. If you please sit down. She motions to one of the tables. I shall have one of my workers fetch you some light food and drink while you wait, and I will prepare the rooms. You will be in them within the hour, I should guess.
Nary nods. gives Roma smiles. Thank you.
Yes, doing my duty, lady. She curtsies again and hurries off.
All right. So sit by the table.
Yeah. Food and drink is brought in. Seems to be some sort of mushroom stew with fish. Quite peppery by the look of it, but it does smell rather nice, actually.
Oh, right, then Alauneari will eat it. I mean,
Yeah, it is certainly the taste of Deep Gnome. I mean,
oh,
it tastes rather rustique, let's say.
No food for Rilinid. He receives it, and then he looks at it, and he thinks about the stone mask, and then this weird, like, eerie moment of magnanimity. It's like, shall pass over the bowl. You may eat. You will need your strength later. And sort of like a timid, like, sort of like half terrified, half like, why? You know, like begrudgingly eat.
Are we there?
Yes.
yeah, sure, we're all there right now.
Well, looking at her sister's reaction to the food, she goes, are you hungry, Sakari?
Sakari barks.
Of course you are. Here you go.
He starts eating. Again, slobbering all over the place.
And Alauneari says, we might as well get used to the cuisine, I think.
Who is she saying that to?
Just in general.
It is likely better than trail rations.
Alauneari sort of shrugs.
Also are served like basically you get also a bowl of what you imagine are this the Deep Gnome version of bar snacks basically. Seems to be mushrooms fried in lizard fat.
Oh, that sounds actually quite good.
That's not snacks.
That's what? The bar wench looks taken aback.
No, I say that to you, Jonas, not to the barmaid.
Oh, okay.
She just looks at the snacks with a.
Alauneari tries one. What does it taste like?
It tastes well. Imagine a piece of mushroom fried in like bacon grease.
Bacon grease.
Hum!
Sign me up, right?
Alauneari has never been.
Plunges the head into the bowl.
Alauneari has never been one for eating a lot, so she eats timidly. But she does try it and sort of seems to think about it. You know, what would it be like to be fed this on the throne, pile of gold, perhaps, something like that. She also considers how perhaps she could build out Lord Gurney's throne and make it a little broader, perhaps. You know, a little taller.
And covered in bacon grease.
No food for Rilinid. He just stares and his eyes just lock on Trislin.
She looks at Rilinid. What?
Why did you want my candy? It reveals your weakness.
Because Alauneari asked me to act like I usually do, so I did.
Oh, so this is your sister's fault.
That's you talking. I didn't say that. And mind your own business, brother.
You made it my business when you demanded candy.
Trislin ignores him and looks at Alauneari. Am I allowed to leave and look at the city while my brothers take in what they need to know?
No, not you're allowed, dear sister. She smiles. And don't worry, there's no reason to hide. You can indulge freely in your wish for candy here. Who is there anything to hide from?
Indeed, as she looks at Rilinid. Indeed. Right, brother?
And grips table, says nothing.
Alauneari gives her sister a smile. And then sort of looks at Rilinid. Should we go to the room and perhaps discuss things?
I do not believe we know exactly where we are staying yet.
Have we been told? All right.
She's preparing the rooms.
All right. Well, I guess we'll stay here for now.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Rene looks at Zyn and Rain. Shall we go?
Then will not.
Very well, Tristan. Rain will grab a tiny bit of food and get up.
Well, since it's you guys who has to find out what's going on, and I'm just here to make sure it's not suspicious. I don't know how you want to handle it, but I'll just walk around.
All right.
You were sightseeing.
Well, you can always just say in Elven, that over there looks like something we should see. And Tristan go, oh, I want to go over there.
That looks beautiful.
Yes. Our entire strategy.
Yes.
Alauneari
We're going to Liquorland.
Tries to speak undercommon as much as possible, sort of, because she knows that these gnomes know that if we speak Elven, it's something we do not want them to hear. And then so, I don't know, maybe Elven is the language we speak between ourselves usually. Most likely would be, since we're all kind of snobbish.
Ooh, I see gemstones.
Where? Gemstones?
They look like gemstones.
Gemstones! Tell me more about the gemstones.
Or the mushroom fields.
Yep.
Really should. I really wanted Tristan to say to Rilinid, but she didn't get the chance to say, you took too long, now the candy's gone. But then he was rude.
Lost.
Yeah, well, then he was rude, and I was like, well, I'm not going to say that to him now.
He's not getting that.
No.
That gem of wisdom. Yeah, you tell him.
Oh, no, he didn't.
All right. The sightseeing commences.
Yay.
And you can feel free to sort of mark the map yourselves as we sort of move through this. Basically, when you step out of the Blue Bat, which is located here.
The blue what?
The Blue Bat, the tavern.
Oh, okay.
That's what you probably write down.
You find yourselves in the town square, this area. This is seems to be sort of a marketplace and a gathering for the town. There isn't a lot of commerce going on here as you step out. I mean, there's a little bit of hustle and bustle, but it seems rather subdued after all. The square is much larger than it sort of needs to be, let's say. Most of the business is conducted like in a collection of like stands in the middle here. Also around this seems to be a sort of a collection of mostly private homes as you sort of gaze upon it.
Are there still gnomes around?
Oh, yes.
Angry and spitting when we turn our back?
Well, you don't know so much about the spitting, but there are a lot of gnomes looking very suspicious at you when you move around here. And when you look at them, most of them just duck away or, look very frightened or run away or something like that.
So where did we enter from?
You entered from down here.
Okay. This is the narrow entrance.
Yep. The gate is in at this sort of more narrow area of the cavern.
Tristan says in Elven, so being the soldiers you are, where would you be needed?
Then shrugs. We
Bridges.
might as well just walk around and see what we see.
That is
Tristan-
true.
Tristan looks happy. Okay, and then let's walk. And she goes to the very nice bridge over here.
Okay.
What do we see as we travel this way?
This is a nice bridge. I
The
like
bridge is certainly a feat of gnomish engineering. It is beautifully carved of flawless marble. A lot of stonework has gone into it. You see deep gnomes bravely fighting and killing off Dwergar. And the sort of the commemoration, it seems, of the victory over these hated enemies seems to be sort of the theme of this bridge. There's a lot of gnomes sort of traveling to and from it, but when they see you, they quickly go out of their way to sort of avoid you or give you quite a wide berth as you sort of approach it.
Do we see any kind of patrol?
You do see here and there some form of patrol, yes. It seems that they are out and about patrolling and keeping, every time you see them, they sort of shoot you a very wary glance.
Do we see any guard posts or barracks or anything that would indicate the number of soldiers that this town has?
You can make a perception check.
Perception?
Perception.
Perception? Oh my.
Perception?
Perception's my good skill.
Apparently so, yes.
Oh,
Well,
he didn't help. I just want to see.
of course. Rae'nkalar, who has his eyes with him today, do notice that many of these sort of patrols, first of all, they seem to be rather sort of fresh off the streets. They haven't been out patrolling long, he notices, because they're not grimy or not very even wet from the constant water mist that seems to permeate this cavern. So it seems to be out and about quite recently. They also seem to be moving about or coming from up here, from the second layer.
Okay. Anything else?
The clear amount of them is hard to determine. You probably, if you spend more time walking around, you might get a better view of it.
How are they armed, if at all?
They seem to be armed with breastplates, wooden shields or mushroom shields, and short swords.
No ranged weapons, crossbows or anything?
They seem to have small bows strapped to their backs.
Okay.
Doesn't go well. That is a pretty bridge.
And then, meantime, Zyn and Rain will probably be discussing this in Elven quietly as we walk around with Trislin. Wherever she goes next.
Trishma will, when she talks to her brothers in Elven, but when she just goes, "Oh, look at the bridge," she's in Undercommon. What is this over here?
Oh God.
Okay.
We must follow.
Suddenly she runs away.
As you approach, you see that this is a large collection of mushrooms. It's basically, the mushroom fields, bioluminescent mushrooms of different size and shapes. And there seems to be actually a gathering of gnomes as you approach. They seem to be singing slowly as a sort of a procession of them sort of slowly walks out into the mushroom fields. They seem to be carrying something between them.
And what are they carrying?
Well, moving closer, they seem to be carrying what looks like a body wrapped up in a strange sort of fibrous cloth, sort of wide all around, almost like a mummy.
So
And they're slowly sort of carrying this body out into the field.
So it's a burial?
Seems like it.
Person goes, okay, maybe we should leave, or maybe they'll get, offended.
They seem to not really have noticed you. The group seems to be more into their mourning of the dead, as it were. And before your eyes, you see that they sort of, in a almost like a shallow grave among the mushrooms, seem to slowly and ceremoniously bury the body. And you see them sort of take up almost like a censer, which what you guess are like mushroom spores. They sort of sprinkle over the grave as they sing.
God, we're eating the gnomes!
Mushrooms is made of people.
Glorious, isn't it?
No.
They're gnomes, they're not people. It's fine.
I'm not sure if that's better or worse.
That's what he meant, that they taste like...
It's like
Okay.
gnomes.
I get it.
It literally tastes like.
It literally does. Tristan
Anyway,
is...
we continue our adventure.
Yes, let's go up here. What's this?
Oh
Mm.
god, follow!
Zachary, keep up.
Just runs after, waving his tail and wagging his tail. Like, whoa!
He doesn't have a tail, or maybe he does.
Mm.
It doesn't say in his profile though.
Oh, okay. You cut the tail.
No, if he's born with a tail, he would have a tail. But if it needs to be specified, and he only has legs, horns, and a mouth.
That's not much. Okay.
Eyes are included for free.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, Eisen, that one. Apparently, the tail was for free too. I bet.
As you approach this area, it seems to be the you're getting closer and closer to the sort of sounds of hammer and industry. And as you walk up this place, you see a marble sign declaring that this is Stonecutter's Row. This place. You would guess from the hustle and bustle here that this is the Stonecutters Guild, sort of their quarter. Every house seems to be filled with stonecutters and their workshops. And you see huge blocks of marble being stacked outside many of these houses. Some brought in, some worked on by gnomes who seem to be quite adept at it. Some of them seems rather old, some of them seems rather young, but they all sort of take to their work with a dedicated frenzy almost. Yes, this is the quarry. If you approach it, you do notice that it is indeed vast and very deep. But you still see a lot of marble in this quarry. You're not, I assume no one has profession miner or...
I mean, I have the closest thing I'd have is like architecture and engineering.
Me too.
You,
Engineering.
you could go for an engineering check. Why not?
Not engineering.
Rae'nkalar would guess that this quarry has probably been here for a while. It seems very deep, and to dig this far down and still find marble, it must be a very rich vein indeed.
Do I have any idea of like looking down at like how can I estimate actually how deep it is?
It is, well, let me take a look.
Throw a stone.
Yes.
How long did it take to hear the sound at the bottom?
You hear a gnome struck dead by the stone.
I didn't mean to use my sling. Oops.
It is several hundred feet.
Okay.
Okay, a big hole.
Is this way an exit to the town?
Yeah, I was
Yes,
thinking that.
this seems to be the eastern entrance to Fester Vault.
Is there any defenses?
Or northern, I guess. There seems to be a little bit of defenses. Guard posts are stationed here. There doesn't really actually seem to be much of a gate here. Although you see sort of the beginnings of a marble wall being built here.
A wall?
Yeah.
How close to completion does it seem?
It doesn't seem to be very close to completion. They seem to be quite, quite thorough with their stone cutting, and as such, it takes time. You would estimate that if they were actually, just throwing it up, if someone told you like, "Oh God, army is coming," throw like blocks of marble here, they could probably finish the wall rather quickly. It wouldn't be like actually a castle wall or anything, but it will certainly keep things out.
How many guards are around here?
You see 4 guards here.
4?
4.
Does it appear to have like space in the guard post for more, or?
And
Looked like what would be the set.
Not really. This seems to be the set here. They're all geared as you have seen the ones patrolling around. They also have signal horns.
Okay.
Zyn needs to take a leak.
Yes, he relieves himself on the floor.
No, he goes over here.
Yes, into the mushroom field.
We'll catch up later.
Yep.
I mean, they've already got corpses fertilizing it, so it's fine.
I hope they don't
doesn't.
worship the mushroom field or hold it of any significance or anything.
There's a drow peeing on our ancestors.
Anyway, let's continue. Where would you
Did
like to
say
go?
they were his honored guests, so, you know.
I guess if they want to pee on the mushroom field, I guess we let them. Huh? You do notice also that there is quite a lot of movement around this building here, and another almost flawless marble sign outside it proclaims that this is the Broken Chisel Tavern.
Broken
Another?
chisel.
Another tavern. What's wrong with this tavern?
Well, we got given supposedly the best tavern in town.
What is wrong with that tavern?
Trish looks at her brothers. Investigate.
Explain.
Explain why this is not the tavern we were in.
Examining the tavern.
How do you examine the tavern more
Well,
precisely?
first from the outside, how does it look?
It looks like a squat gnome building made of marble. You can hear a sort of quite raucous, almost party going on inside. There's been a lot of drinking and a lot of gnomes sort of shouting different things in gnomish.
Tristan looks at her brother.
Do the gnomes inside just like, I guess from this where they kind of are, I'm guessing it'd be like mostly like people that look like they're working in the quarry, for example?
Seems like it if you take a peek inside.
Yeah, I would have probably had a quick peek to work out what places like.
A lot of them seems to be almost centered around a very old gnome who's sitting on something of a raised chair. He seems very old indeed, venerable, and he has his sort of stone pick resting at his chair, and he's drinking a huge pint of black beer as he sort of slowly talks, and many of his apparently disciples listen very intently to what he's saying. He seems to be quite old and quite experienced, you would guess.
Would this be the dwarf that... Not dwarf, the goblin... No!
What?
The gnome! The gnome that is the history thing.
Quite possibly.
It's in the right place.
I'm looking at mushrooms. Okay.
No, you're peeing on mushrooms.
I see.
You better stop doing that, that's rude.
Sister, would you like to... Is there anything you wish?
Just no...
The people inside just seem to be minus.
Well, just no... Maybe this would be a good opportunity to get some history and be favored. So they won't, be rude.
I see. What do you think is best?
I have a feeling that walking in would make everyone go quiet and give us looks of hatred.
Quite likely.
But when don't we get that? Ah?
I look over for Zyn trying to think of something.
Do we even care about what they think of us?
No, but sister, she wants me to be the happy-going and smiling that at most part I am. When I'm allowed. So we might as well go in, show some respect, and listen to what he has to say. For a second, I thought he was the one called Broken.
No.
No.
That's a name. That's a tag of the building.
Oh, okay.
Not of him.
I thought it was his name tag. Let's go in and listen. Start at the background and see how it goes.
Our sister has spoken.
All right. As you enter the Broken Chisel, Indeed, a silence quickly falls upon the whole establishment as you enter, and a lot of very cautious, scared, and hateful looks are thrown your way. The old gnome seems to stop sort of mid-story and then turn his gaze upon you. You see his jaw set, and he looks somewhat stern as he sort of, one of his old, wrinkly and experienced hands grip the seat of the chair as he sits up a bit straighter. Everyone is looking at you.
Tristan looks at the old gnome and gives him her best smile and says, I have heard about you have a great wisdom about the history of your city, and I am very interested in listening, if I may, and if it pleases you.
The old gnome seems to quirk an eyebrow. Well, this is certainly a surprise. Why would a drow be interested in anything that has to do with our history?
Because you've built such beautiful cities, and I really admire it, and I really want to know about it.
Do you now? He seems to consider.
She smiles, a very friendly smile.
He looks over to the rest of them. Did you hear that, fellas? Drow admiring our city. Huh! And then many of them sort of, laugh quietly.
She completely ignores the laughing, still looking seriously at him.
And sort of looks over at you again. Well, I suppose that you are these honored guests the rumors have told me about.
I hope it was good rumors, but yes.
Not really, Lady Drow.
I didn't expect so. I know how it is. My name is...
Well, you must realize that your kin is feared and hated here.
I know.
And still you enter this place?
I wanted to approach you, as I've heard about you, in a friendly manner to show that I am not like the other drow, and I do not wish to harm or make fun of any of you. I want to be... what's it called in English?
In Undercommon.
Well, what's it in Undercommon, indeed? Another way would say on the same level.
Equals?
Equals, thank you. I want to be you to see me as an equal